Good morning and happy Wednesday. Hope you're having a great midweek start to your day. The weekend going to be here before you know it, and for a lot of you that means heading out to a Friday night football game. Hopefully your team will win. Even more so, we hope there won't be any injuries on the field, but it is heavy athletic season. A good time for us to open the show talking with Brian Clary. He is a physical therapist at the Center for Sports Medicine and is going to give us kind of some insights into what their world is looking like during this busy fall season. Great to see you this morning, Brian.
Thanks for having me, Julie.
I'm guessing once those kids hit the field on Friday nights, your intake of patients goes up exponentially.
Yeah, this is a busy time for us, and it's one that we really start preparing for early May and just kind of getting a ramp up to the season. And, you know, sports are always busy through the year. There's always someone doing something, but football is just historically is a sport with more injuries. And so it's a busy time for us as people get back into school.
I think for the kids themselves, there's kind of a sense of urgency right now among teenagers because always in high school, you just have a finite amount of time, right? That you have your freshman season, your junior season, and COVID has interrupted things for a lot of the athletes, and things are always tenuous. Will they be able to play a game or will they not? So if they get an injury, I'm sure they're all the more eager to get it fixed and get right back out there playing their game.
I think that's incredible insight, and that's exactly what goes on. There's a sense of urgency, especially, you know, depending on where you go, you know, what year in school you are. Junior to senior year is a big year for a lot of people if you're going to be looked at. And so if you take away that COVID summer where there wasn't much that went on, or maybe a spring where you didn't have a whole lot going on, this is probably a pretty important year for a lot of people. And so from the Center for Sports Medicine standpoint, I think that's such a huge value of our sports med outreach program, to have athletic trainers there to make sure that as people begin to ramp it up, that they're doing so safely and that they're getting good advice of what can be played through and what needs maybe another look.
So let's talk about that a little bit, because you went right where I was hoping you would, because the parents are out there walking the journey with their kids, and this goes for girls and boys alike. So within your sports med outreach program, and I'll let you elaborate a little bit on what all you offer there, is any of it, Brian, just preventive strengthening as well?
It's quite a bit. And so our athletic trainers do is they're part again of that sports med outreach program, which has been really a staple of the Center for Sports Medicine since the 80s. I mean, it's something we've been consistently involved in since then. And so we have athletic trainers from a middle school level all the way up to Red Wolves and CFC first teams. And their job on campus is to take care of the athletes and then make sure that not only are they diagnosing and treating on site, but that they're diagnosing and treating on site, but that they are also helping to coordinate the care. And so the coordination of their care consists of really a wide spectrum of things. And part of that is, like you said, is maybe getting advice, strength and conditioning coach of you know, what they feel is safe or what is safe within the environmental status that day. Is it a day where the heat index is high or a lightning delay and things like that? So the spectrum of what an athletic trainer provides that group of athletes is really all encompassing.
You know, as an athletic trainer, by the very name, you have got training in certain areas within physical therapy, right? I mean, you've specialized and focused on the athletic needs, but then how much does just years of doing it come into play? The more you see, I would think, the more you know kind of how to advise and what the odds are going to be.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So we're very fortunate in this area that we've got graduate athletic training programs at both UTC and Lee University in Cleveland. And there is a large component of their curriculum that is rehab and getting athletes back through a rehab process. but I think you can't, as in any profession, you can never underrate experience. And, there's situations where, we'll get an athletic trainer, maybe they're new to the profession, it's their first assignment out of school. Everything is of it, everything is a big priority. But then when you start to transition towards, our guys, we have a couple within the company that have been an athletic trainer for 20 years. And I'm always just so amazed at how fluid they are of this needs this needs this, and then, okay, this athlete needs a follow-up. So you're right. It, like any profession, experience is enormous.
So I'm not an athlete's mom. This is all foreign to me a little bit. So I'm curious about something on the prevention side of things. Suppose you have a son or daughter who's going to play a spring sport, whether it's basketball or tennis, something like that, and you want to make sure that their season is the best it can be. Does the individual parent come and say, hey, I'd like my child to be enrolled in this program? Do they do it through their school? How does that work?
Yeah, for the most part, I think coaches are way advanced than they even were 10 years ago in ramping up to a season. And that ramp up is for a lot of things. It's not only, like you said, to get stronger. Anyone that strength is usually the thing that cures all. And if you're strong going into a season, then you are more sustainable, able to prevent injuries. But I think even furthermore, that strength goes from like a tendon perspective to a muscle perspective. And so I think, if you're a parent of a child that maybe not yet in high school, maybe a middle school student, we offer services like that at our C4 clinic on Lee Highway for just athlete preparation for a season and general athletic conditioning. But I think once you get up to the high school level, they're doing it. Basketball teams are already working out now. Baseball teams will begin with arm health regimens really probably in the next few months. And they're going to make sure that the kids are, for the most part, safe going in.
Okay, talk about your Saturday clinics. That's something that's kind of specific to this time of year, isn't it?
Yes, so Saturday clinic always will run through football season. And so last week was our first week. Our last Saturday will be November 6th, which corresponds with the first week of playoffs. And it is first come, first served. Anybody that needs to be seen from an injury the week before, but likely on Friday, if you'll be at the doors at 8:45, you'll be seen. There's no need for a referral. There's very little wait time. It's the first one through the doors, the first one seen. We'll see everybody that comes in, and what you'll get is imaging. You'll get a diagnosis. You'll get a plan. You'll get a plan that day to help coordinate your care. And to go back through what you're saying previously about having a finite period of time, that's these athletes. And so if you know on Saturday that this is what the injury is, maybe I have an MRI on Monday and a follow-up on Wednesday, you know what you're up against and whether you can safely return or not. And furthermore, that day you'll get anything you need from a medical equipment, from crutches to a brace or a boot or an ankle brace, to get you ready to go back the next week.
And I guess before I let you run, just to make it clear, we're focusing today on the athletic side, but in no way are the physicians or the physical therapy program there restricted to just athletes, even though the name is Center for Sports Medicine. So if you've had an injury for any reason, right, your clinicians are available to help people.
Correct. We have a large group of board certified and subspecialist orthopedic physicians, and we see everything from low back pain to total hips to an ACL reconstruction.
Ryan, always great talking to you. Thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you.
You can learn more about all that they do have to offer at the Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics by giving them a call, 624-2696. That's the number for their McCauley Avenue location, but they do have satellite offices all around the viewing area. You can also go online to sportmed.com, and as Brian said, that Saturday clinic is now open should you need it this upcoming Saturday, a first come, first served basis. We're back after this.